Okay, I'm sorry. This is very stupid, and actually, you would have seen it as motorcyclists. Most people would have seen Rossi pre-race going and sitting next to his
Yeah.
bike and talking to it,
Yeah.
talking to it,
He
right?
does. Yeah.
Do you have you given your bike a hug ever?
No, but I can't remember the last time I parked a bike and I didn't pat the seat or something
Uh,
or take a second look before I. And yeah, at that point I do talk to it.
yeah. So I also do. I've given hugs. I've given kisses. I can't, like, every now and then I'll just be going by and I'm like, nah, like, for me the sense that they are inanimate, I don't know. It
It's hard
just
to reconcile,
it's
no?
I
Yeah.
somehow I feel that there have been moments, like, and it just feels like, or you get so well tuned with them,
Yeah.
right? I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
and in that also I feel that it's a magic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That a machine that's been designed so well that it works with the human so well that it feels like an extension.
Yeah.
That is special, right?
Yeah. And I hope all of you, at least for some time in your life, find a machine that feels like that extension of you, because I cannot describe. There's a
Dude,
magic to that
I'm getting
feeling.
goosebumps
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here
There's
now.
a magic to that feeling it's indescribable.
So, like, there are so many times, and this will be in the times when things get tricky,
Yeah.
when you want that little bit of assistance,
Yeah.
when you want a little bit of help on your side, and you find it out of nowhere, like
Yeah.
when you're least expecting it. Even with the Chotu Ignis,
Yeah.
at times when there have been instances where we were out on the highway and unfamiliar road, but more than unfamiliar, what happened was the condition changed really quickly. Like, I had gravel in the corner and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, I catching this might be a little tough because
Mm.
we're going fast around that bend. But just that being able to get the outcome from the vehicle
Mm.
that you were hoping for, not expecting, but hoping for,
Mm.
comes through. And in the Busa, I have a bigger example in which I have discussed with some of you. I frankly at times feel that Suzuki has some very simple level of traction control built into their electronics, which they don't want to talk about.
Mm.
Because it has happened to me. Like, I'm coming through a corner and then there's gravel, and you're just like,
Mm.
no, no. So you've softened, you've braced everything, you've lightened yourself on the bike, everything you've done. And the bike just goes, and this has happened. So I to still maintain it as a theory that somewhere there is some kind of system in there which just softens it out a
I
little
never
bit.
thought of you as a conspiracy theorist for traction control on Suzuki's, man.
Dude, because I can imagine it being there. I can imagine some form is there.
Well, this is the country that said, what, this car is 180 bhp, and when there was actually measured, it was some 300 bhp or something. No, this is the same,
Which,
some Supra or something was like this, no? Undercommit and way over deliver.
yeah, Supra can go up to 1100 horsepower from stock.
With tuning.
Yeah.
There was some car which is the first Evo or something like that. There's one of these cars where
Okay.
apparently the rating was some pedestrian rating, and when they started saying, no, this is way too fast to be this like this.
Yeah. So
If you know what car that is, leave us a comment.
yeah, so I think that sense of becoming one with the machine, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
And it's maybe the talking, maybe it's the syncing, or it's a good machine, but the feelings also expand with that.
Yeah. And this machines being sentient thing is as stupid a discussion as it is. It happens. Huh? There was a date I went for many years ago in early 2000s. And it wasn't a romantic date as much as there was a shy girl in the office, and I really wanted to know, hey, what's your scene? I mean, who are you and what do you do? And she said, can we go on your bike? And that day I had my other RD350, which was normally the non-temperamental RD350. That's the one that would start up and just run. Ferocia would just get up and run.
From then you've been having these names?
From the first RD350, which
These
was
kind of names?
Farah was the first one. And Farah's name goes to everything. So that's why they're all FER.
Oh my God.
So Farah and Ferocia were my first two RD350s. Farah was the first bike with a proper name. Before that was 1372, which was my KB, and then 8023, which was my Kinetic, etc.
Okay.
So this girl, we went down. It had been raining. The seat was soaked through because it was like an old Rexine seat with cracks in it or whatever. So I said, it's kind of wet. I'm still trying to get her to a taxi, right? And she's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry. My house is not very far from where we're going. We'll be okay. So get on the bike, and I can smell petrol everywhere. And she doesn't know anything. Okay, so she's sitting on the back and she's listening to the RD350 noise, and she's saying stuff like, wow, this sounds very different and all that. And okay. And this, I put my hand under the carburetor and it comes off like fully wet, okay. And I smell it and it's all petrol and it's flooded, okay. So I was like, okay, now what do I do? But I had a full tank of petrol and we weren't going that far. So I said, okay, screw it. So in my heart, I'm having a conversation with my bike. Okay, I'm like, please don't behave like this. she doesn't mean anything.
Just this much.
No, no,
just
she doesn't mean anything.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just trying to get to know her. There is no romantic interest here. Okay, I don't want to date her or any such thing. Right? And it flooded and flooded and flooded. It ran well enough for her to never detect a problem. And I'm bleeding gas everywhere. Okay, it's leaving petrol on the road type.
Oh my God.
Fortunately, it's wet. So it's okay. It's not like it's just slippery or anything. We managed. Went, parked, had a good dinner, left her home. So she walks and she's like, my house is over there. I said, I'm not coming up to there. I'm just going to make sure you go in the gate and then I'm going. And it was a loud bike. So I didn't want to go right up to the house and all this. So she went into her house, started the bike, rode, this is I think on Pedo Road or something like that. So there's a downhill. I start downhill, I reach under the carburetor, bone dry. We haven't done anything, okay? It's not like I took a screwdriver and knocked the float bowl back into place. Nothing. Okay? I come down the hill and now the conversation is, you B, what is wrong with you?
What's your problem?
What's your problem, right? And from there, I was used to live in Thane at that point of time. The heavens just opened. And they stayed open while I got to Thane. And I remember that ride was epic. We didn't slow down for much. It was 11, 12, 1, something like that. There was steam coming off the headlight. So every time you slow down a little bit, you'd see the steam coming off the headlight. I think there was water going everywhere because we were going so fast. And it felt like nothing will happen. Just go. I got you. And I was like, it's a 4 kilometers it was from the office to this restaurant or whatever. 4 kilometers you had to flood.
I'm guessing that relationship definitely didn't go anywhere.
There was no relationship. But the point is, the bike clearly took offense saying, Acha, you're going to make a girl sit there. Okay, we'll see.
Nice. That's interesting. Thankfully, that's not happened.
No, modern bikes apparently don't do that. At least they don't throw tantrums like this anymore. There's no carburetor to throw tantrums. So at least we solved that.
Whoa, you made it through a video that's way longer than 1 minute. We might be onto something here. In which case, head to the MotorInc channel and there might be a next challenge waiting for you there.